Oh, oh, he's off.
That comes off every time at that spot. And he's been ready to grab it in the back, which is plain conductor. Known for that.
Well, then again, it's got a wheel instead of a carbon shoe. Probably the fact that it has a wheel doesn't help it.
Get it to the side of that wheel. A big brass wheel on there.
Yeah, it could almost pass for a large 1602. Big fly swatter. Pretty hot. I'll do it. I'm the guy in charge. You're just here to supervise.
Stupid vibes.
Answer to 631.
He's gonna send him in front of us.
631.
Yeah, I think you'll send him in front. Might as well.
1, Talbot Park.
Yep.
Number 1 battle.
Oh, okay.
Please Talbot Park, take the number 1 battle. They'll give an HL if that move too.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we'll do it that way, do it that way, okay.
That's fine. Give him priority.
Right,
It's a non-revenue run anyway.
right.
You can open that door.
Yeah. It's open, anything unlocked it.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's a pretty high step.
Well, you gotta climb down. That's right, you know. We'll pull up, we'll send Eddie out to get the paddle.
Yeah. Yeah, just make sure you don't trip all over yourself, please.
Why? You think they're going to trip over or something?
Just be careful, seriously. It's fucking slippery out here.
Yeah.
What the hell is that? It's like a horn beetle.
It's outside, don't worry about it. That idiot.
Even the bugs want to take a ride. Does this thing, you only take it in series with this, or?
No, this
one you gotta
gotta
take
go in
parallel.
a parallel. This thing is,
It's a heavy monster.
It's just the way it runs, yeah, you'll see it, You gotta take parallel in this car to get up that hill. This is one of the few that you really need parallel in. You can try it, you'll feel it out, we'll do some practice stopping on the way up. You know, you pick your points, do some, brakes, check the, do the brakes and all that sort of stuff.
Wow, it's an interesting car, I'll say that, considering it came from Minnesota.
It's home built in the shops too, they built their own cars. It's rebuilt here. Actually, the funny thing is, this is the first car that was ever powered at this museum.
Ever powered?
Yeah, they run, at the museum.
Oh.
Yeah.
And this
it's only
is-
about 200 feet of track.
And this is pre-PCC too. The Newark PCCs came from the same company as this car.
Yeah.
Twin Cities Rapid Transit.
PCC put these out in the pasture.
And the PCCs went out not long after them.
I know, that was.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
I wonder when they're going to run the 15 probably.
We shall see. Gauge is, am I reading that correctly, John? 75 or 70?
70.
Yeah, about 70.
That didn't look like a stop and proceed to me at that signal. He went right through it.
Who's operating?
Oh, the other guy, not Lee. The other guy. It just looked like he rolled right through it.
Well,
Where's the signal? Over.
right there.
Right there. That one is. That one is the only one is either you get solid red or you get flashing red. Flashing red is stop and proceed. More people don't read that thing right. They just go through and they get the. It tells them to go. They just think it's still a stop and proceed signal. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. He's coming out in that direction. Right now it's on solid red because he's in a block.
Yeah.
Well, when the block clears, that'll go to flashing red, and this will go to amber, to yellow. Yes. We're waiting orders. Then we gotta go because you told them to take the number 1.
Gotta love it. No comments.
Dispatch 1266. 1267.
This is car 1267, over.
1267, Talbot Black, large green panel.
Acknowledge dispatcher, 1267 Talbot Park, large green panel.
WNHL 712.
Okay, here we go. Okay, officially, this is the brake test point, even though the brakes are good, I'll do it anyway. That's good. Second point, hold it, off. One, two, three, off. One, two, three, right.
I hope you push gently. Go up a little bit more because of the rear conductor car, so you know. One of them walking in the rain. The unofficial conductor. Just push gently. There you go, all right, hold it. Hold it, hold on. Release a little bit on the, you open that. Pull it toward you. Wait, where did we go? Wait a minute. Right now.
Oh, okay, got it.
You got it. Okay, close them.
Oh, thank you. Okay, preparing the whistle. Two, three, whistling. Now, one, two long, one short, one long. I'll hold it in series.
Yeah, till you get past the switch, yes. Then we'll see how it climbs. I mean, it went rail too, that's another situation, it doesn't help.
Whistle pulse coming up, end of yard limit. And one long coming up. Breaker overhead. And switching off now. Going up, Grace. I guess I'll start going parallel now.
Yeah, so you get to 15 zone, then you gotta drop it down the other a little.
That's enough. want to start bouncing all over the place.
Right.
I think the whole point of operating the car is to try to keep the ride as smooth as possible.
Right.
50-mile-per-hour restriction.
Which is full series, basically, the city car.
In full series. Let's see, that was number 4.
Air 14, 7 is better.
Number 5. Okay, we'll make a practice stop at number 7.
Okay.
You want to come into the business?
Switching off.
Visitor center loop would be better. That way we can drop people in. Anything else that the switch is like? Okay, thank you.
Very nice.
Practice stop. Releasing brakes. This green dot, that's resume speed?
That's reduced speed, yeah.
Right, okay, gotta remember that. Breaker overhead. I'll get familiar with it. Preparing to switch off. Now.
Let's hold it in full series and see how it climbs.
This is not a bad clock. Is that dog still riding with us? An unwanted trolley passenger? He didn't pay his fare, by the way.
Okay.
He's not moving. Okay. Whistle post coming up.
No, you gotta see what down here when we get around the bend. You gotta do it a handoff or whatever.
Right. And one long. This feels like about 10 miles, would you say?
Yeah, no, I would.
We're climbing upwards.
Yeah, we're flying slows down. It's the pinch of the hill gets a little bit steeper up here. That's why, you know, so check it up. And, that place is really pressed up on it, you know.
Miles, holding it here, and just gonna close in the rest of the way.
Turn a little off.
Starting to slide with those wheels. I'm spooling for the platform.
That's what it said, that's all. Good. Not dropping anybody off. Not picking anybody up. Rockland Boulevard, where is that?
Ah, 631. Very much like her sister, 629.
Seashore 631 to dispatcher.
That's it, Lee, you gotta take it off, you gotta put it up in the air so he can hear it. You gotta take it off, you gotta hold it up.
Seashore 631 to dispatcher. 631, Calvin Park, Greenport. 631, you clear the Morrison Hill. 631, clear the Morrison. WNHL 712.
Got it.
Pull up to the board. Pull down, once you get the paddle board, then you can call it.
So this loop has only been here for the last 6 years?
No, 9 years.
9 years.
Opened October of '95.
So what was the end previously? Would it have been the Biddeford siding?
No, it was around a bend.
Around the bend, okay.
Yeah, then we did come up to the other side of Biddeford siding.
Mm.
It was around a curve before that. Then we come up to Biddeford siding when we were building this, and then we finally came into the loop. Did come up, that's why we did come up for, there's a box up there, I'll show you when we go out. I think the box is still there. One of the thoughts was for a while they did come up, and because of the problem with the radio, I used to bring a radio up and put it in a box up here. It was had the antenna mounted higher. I'll show you on the way out when we get past stuff. You know, just go pick up the paddle first.
Okay, here we go. Seashore 1267 to the dispatcher.
Dispatcher answering 1267.
1267 is at Talbot Park, displaying the green board.
1267, you clear the Morrison Hill.
Acknowledged, 1267 is clear to Morrison Hill.
WNHL 712.
Mr. Conductor, would you give me 2 seconds to go? Thank you very much.
The box is still up here where the end of the line is.
What did you say the break was? Over us?
Right out to Prague, yeah. So there it is.
Okay.
Yeah, stop at the brake test sign.
Okay.
That's, I'll show you. Now this was, see, like, oh, this is the cut. See the box, these some of the portables up here, and they had an antenna mounted up on a pole.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a better signal. That was the end of the line. while the loop was being constructed. Before that was around the bend, coming up the hill. We didn't even crest the hill. But this was the end of the line. Then they extended this far and then they built the loop. So sometime in the early 90s we were up as far as here.
As far as this point.
Yeah, and then after that, before that it was still around the corner, coming up the hill. I don't know if you can see the spot anymore. You know.
2, 3, 4. Going down here, so we'll let it coast. Whistle post coming up. And 1 long. Start the descend, so why don't I, to this post, let it coast down.
There's around in here someplace, I forget it. I don't even remember the exact spot anymore. It's up in here someplace. Right around here. The end of the line.
I got 629 in my,
Yeah, 629, yes, Joe. Damn. That would be a nice trick.
I'm gonna make sure I stay
Yes.
back. I don't need to go crashing into anybody else. I'm gonna assume he's gonna stop at the serves.
Check it out when we get to the stop sign. Let me see if it's occupied. If it's occupied, hold at the stop sign. Now, if you were Swamp Thing, he'd be right on top of him and say, I want to see what he's doing.
Oh, God, help us and save us. Breaker overhead. mph speed restriction.
I did come up with 16. I couldn't find any more 15 mile an hour signs, and they had 6 mile per hour. They just put a 1 on it.
Mass number 7. Time for a practice stop number 5. Number 6 coming up. Number 5 ahead. It's slow enough so I don't have to take too much break. I guess the point is, I don't want to brake on top of the mast.
It's slippery rails, you know. You have to take short bites in case you slide. Oh, the critter's moving. Let's go a little bit this way. This is a nice ride.
Where's that stop sign? It's coming up. Yeah, I see it. Stop sign coming up. don't see him in reserve, so
Right.
he's on the move. Am I fanning the brake, or did I do that all right?
It's your fanny a little bit, but what are you gonna do? It's slippery rail, so make sure, you know.
Alright.
You take too much brake, you're just gonna slide it, so you gotta fan it in wet weather. That's when you're allowed to fan it is on wet rail. Why do I remember?
Little jerky.
Right.
Breaker overhead.
No. What does one ring mean?
Stop.
No. Let's go over it again. One ring, what does it mean? One ring and a bell. Not a long whistle. On a you know. Next station stop. Three ring. I ain't gotta go. And
One ring is next.
one ring, next station. You roll one ring. You're running a two-man car. One ring, next station stop. Conductor goes bing, and you go bing once on your dime to acknowledge that you received his signal. Okay, that's what it is. That's stop in reserves. I know, that's what a lot of people get confused. But this is what it is. One ring is next station
I'm
stop.
gonna have to change my underwear. It's okay. Alright, here we go.
I mean,
Stop in reserves.
stop in reserves. That's why I give you the signal before I stop with. You're working up here. That's the way the guys practice it, but that's what it's supposed to be. When you're running a two-man car. They put the pumpkins out there, look. Isn't that nice? One conductor is like that.
He gave me 2 rings.
Well, yeah, I give you one and he give you one. It was 2. That's right.
Okay, thanks. The keys to 4387 in the ammo box. Keys 4387 in the ammo box.
Also, when you're grade crossing signals, your last long is supposed to be when you're on the crossing itself.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I don't start this one until I get down to about the signal, because this post is in the wrong place. You know what I mean?
Alright,
Yeah, it's
here
on
we
now.
go. And the last one is now.
Wow. Hey, when you're on the grade, just coast it.
Hey, when are we going to take a Broad Street car out? Once again, I asked for too much. We're supposed... This is the breaker here.
Yes. It would This car, you gotta go all the way down, right at the stop sign, right at the edge of the wood, to the rear. This guy's point. Matter of fact, you gotta go past it. When you got past it, it's getting more. You know what I mean? Just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Right around here. Ready? You're past the stop sign. Well, let me just try and remember my position. Just take a look and see what I'm talking about. It's still gonna be a little bit more forward until you get them up onto the better gravel. Okay. Then you got car in front of us. Let's see what his game plan is.
Seashore 4387 to dispatcher. Dispatcher entering.
We didn't get clearance yet.
ready to depart the shuttle position. 4387, you clear the highway. 4387, clear the highway. Coming on HL 712.
Alright. Let him go. Let's see what he does. Sit here because he's sitting there. Wait till he moves 631. We got it now. We got occupancy of the block. Can you take care of it? We got. Well, go take care of it. Some of the goombas over there to take care of. Where are all the goombas? They all disappeared already? Otherwise they're going to be blocking a block. You know what I mean? This 4387 tracks nicely. That's it. Somebody give up your ass and go over and get the fucking car.
Yeah, I guess the dispatcher will do it himself.
I don't know. But Bob or somebody else's voice. That's the other guy that was on the tour. I'm gonna be in the back for that pole. So.
What are you doing? You reaching out the window for it?
Yeah, well, so when you get down, it goes dead slow through it. Once you get the clearance, I'm gonna be reaching out for it. I'll see if I can rehook it, whatever. I should be able to handle it. Once you see 631 moving, then, you know, all for clearance.
Seashore 631, the dispatcher. Dispatcher answering 631. 631 to visitor center. 631 to visitor center. UNHL 712.
Hey, cool. They should stop moving right away.
Seashore 1267 to the dispatcher.
Dispatcher answering call 67.
Car 1267 is at Morrison Hill.
Call 67, you clear the visitor center by the south switch.
I acknowledge 1267 is clear to the visitor center by the stop switch.
Building NHL 712.
Even his voice sounds pretty rough today.
Oh, I did know.
Yeah, ding ding, ding ding. Well, you are the conductor. There we go. About here? That's good? Okay.
And I gotta tell you something else. I find it much more difficult to remain impartial, especially when it comes to this. Okay? If I can't stay impartial, one or two cases can happen. Right? Find someone else to
spot.
Gotta watch the ball. Okay. There we go.
Just quickly, on this side, 653 and 950, well, that's what we'd say one of the more useful rubber-tired vehicles within the collection. This was built 1963 for service in Luzerne, Switzerland. Don't mind the arrangement was during the peak summer season, they wanted to show how to, you know, these are the rubber tires and the poles would mount on the trolley wire. But right now, we have a proverbial situation here. If you look at it this way, it can't be driven that way even if we had power to pull. Because right now, this goes back to the other story. We're putting the cart before the mule. Because that is a trailer. 950 should be on the other side. That's why it would be towing the trailer. But they just put it there for purposes. So that's why I say, my understanding is that they will be coming here from Luzerne after Columbus Day. We work on the overhead. Hopefully next year, one of the demonstrations, when a qualified person is available, they'll be able to demonstrate the trolley coach ride. Because they're also battery powered enough to turn them around. We have a short strip, maybe, you know, that's a quarter of a mile of overhead wire. Just be seated, please. A little bit of hard trackage on. Constantine, before I pull up to the unloading spot, tell us about 81440.
This is one of my favorites. And being that I'm a native New Yorker, I gotta talk about the New York City subway system. Also, just as a side note, brief side note, I work for the New York City Transit Authority. I'm what you would call a station agent. And responsibilities of station agent includes giving out maps, selling Metro cards, giving directions, and giving plenty of smiles. Very briefly, let me just tell you 800 and 1440 here are examples of New York City subway cars built for the independent subway system, or IND. They date back to the late 1930s. What can I say about the subway cars? Operation of the subway cars is slightly different than the trolley system. Trolleys utilize an overhead electric system. You have the overhead which supplies 600 volts of electricity. Subway cars are different in that they utilize what we call a third rail or a contact rail. And if you could just imagine for a moment, you have the two running rails that make up the track. On the side of the track is this very thick contact rail, the third rail, which supplies the electricity to the subway cars through these pickup shoes. Through a shoe, electricity goes into the motors, drives the cars forward or backwards. So if anyone has ever been in New York, if you've gone to Coney Island, or you've even gone out to Queens, to the Rockaways, you could take this kind of train out to those destinations.
Thank you, Constantine.
Thank you, Mr. Moore.
Those green tires?
Yes. Yes. They are operational, by the way. During special events, we can take them out. We do run them out to the end of the line. Those are my favorites. I know nothing about the trolley cars. I know everything about the subway cars. But then again, I
Saw ever be preserved for a specific reason. And there's various stories about how many were involved and the variations. Basic one, it really comes down to probably 12 gentlemen who were going to college in Boston, came up to ride one of the last streetcar lines in the state of Maine, 1939. Up here in Bedford, Saco, just a little bit north of here. They found out at the end of the day that the car was for sale. They wanted $150. They went back to Boston, pulled their money together, came back a week or two later, bought the car. Only to find out that the town of Bedford, where the car house was, had passed an ordinance that said the cars had to be removed from town. Well, you have to consider, many of your smaller country-type trolley lines, they were built in the 1930s. They took the bodies during the Depression to make cottages. They didn't want this. So they come along, well, what do we do? Make a quick story short is, they found out about this farmer across the street on Log Cabin Road. They came down and talked to him, and they knew part of coming up from Log Cabin Road was the old Atlantic Shoreline Railway right away. They went down to the farmer and said, can we bring this car here? They said, yeah, fine. And of course, then World War II came along, so everything got kind of dull for a while. There's another car that came prior to that, at the end of this line, but go over it quickly. They came back from war, being enterprising young gentlemen, youthful. They started laying rail, pushing whatever. Here we are, 60-some plus years later, with 250 pieces of clay. A lot of pieces I could look at look rough. But remember, a lot of them will never be rebuilt, but this is things to supply parts. This is not something you go to your Home Depot or your Lowe's and find parts for. This is where you have an accumulation. So you might take parts for 2 or 3 cars to rebuild one car. The condition is it. I'll be waiting this step, please. Prior to even any type of steel rail being laid, even into the dirt. This is a sample of, closest sample we can find of an omnibus. Omnibus is basically what it was. It was horse-drawn, wagon tank wheels. Of course, this one belonged to Suffolk County. This was, well, like to put it, Boston was a strong, and everybody takes it the wrong way, strong Irish town. You know, the Irish on Saturday nights without celebrating. So this thing, paddy wagon, took them, the wives didn't want them home, put them in a hooscow overnight, let them sleep it off. This is, I forget the vintage of it, this is, it's well over, I would say close to.
1850.
18, I was gonna say over 150 years old, so this is, that's why we have placards here. A lot of times you do a self-guided tour, so I can't keep track of all the dates, and I don't come here that often. I only come here like twice a year, so not that familiar with all the dates. Let me move along.
That's why this one did be that's why there are windows.
Number 10, New Bedford, Mass. It's 1880-something, if I remember correctly. This is a sample of a horse-drawn streetcar. What the thing was, you had the omnibuses were fine, but they couldn't get that much speed. And they couldn't hold that much weight. Here, you get two horses with steel rails, even if it were in dirt. It gives you the friction to keep rolling. A lot of people look at it and say, it's a nice looking vehicle, when are you going to do work on it? We've had this appraised, I don't know what the appraisal value, we had somebody that's totally into true restorations come and look at it and say, don't touch it. Unfortunately, we're not in a situation where they do suggest to put it in a climate controlled building. Unfortunately, we're not that kind of an organization, but don't try to do it. Just leave it the way it is. Don't try to restore it. This is everything here. This is original. There's no rebuild in number 10. So that's a horse car. Might have been a paint, might have been a paint underneath that they did it. It's just fading back over it.
Looks like it was a shadow.
Shadow like
Has
a,
to be a shadow.
right,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what I said, it's, yeah.
How did they name the number the cars?
They just picked any numbers at random, whatever, like starting with 1. Some companies started with 1, others wanted cars in certain series, by car builders. Nothing anywhere in particular, just at random.
Huh.
They were, it's by order number, some of them, like on some of the, there's all kinds of variations. I think if you look at the numbers, there's supposed to be a way you can tell if you look like, say, in a post office vehicle. 2 of the digits supposed to be a year of the vehicle and stuff like that. It's so real sequence to what it's all about.
Look at the big shoe for the
Prior to your gentleman in brown, this is a smaller express service. This is less than carload. Take your vehicles, packages and all to town. This is your predecessor of UPS, FedEx, or anything like that. Railway companies did it. They haul freight. They transfer it. Say they have a railroad sign and they transfer it to a smaller car holder. Your business was on the street with a streetcar service. They brought you to your freight. Gentlemen that live in the country, this was your mail service if you had a country trolley line. You knew when to call, like say in Missouri. You knew specifically when it ran on the schedule, what time to be at the trolley line. Here comes your post office. You give them their sorting, everything else. It was all on, all the United States Railway Post Office. This is what it was all about. This is how your rural community was served by the post office. You brought it to them, they brought it back. Whatever. We come down. Number 48. Yes, this is a San Francisco cable car. It is original. This car came to us prior to the rebuild. It's been here a while. And of course, this is your piece of the cable. A lot of people don't realize, you look at the levers, unless you've ridden them, the levermen work the cars, and here's the turntables and all. But that cable is moving at 9 miles per hour all the time. In the ground. But this is what the cable system in San Francisco also was popular back in the late 1880s, 90s. New York City, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, had some Chicago. A lot of them all converted to other type of electricity. New York City and Washington, D.C. went for the underground conduit type system, not to have overhead wires in the main part of the city, other ones are overhead wire, which we use here today. So that's a San Francisco cable car. Number 38. Unique car. Second car preserved by the museum. The rapid transit line. It was rapid transit, right between Nashua and I forget what another city, and Manchester, New Hampshire. The gentleman in New Hampshire heard about the fellas that preserved number 31 here. They got a hold of number 38. How can we bring our car to your location? Similar situation, but the thing is, rapid transit, 35 miles per hour at that time. That was high speed. But you take a look at it. It's hard to see with the wood appointments inside of the car, where it's restored, all the wood, plush, seating, things like that, inside the car. So that's also very unique. And like I said, it's one of the cars that, it's here. This particular car, Glasgow, Scotland. It's your typical British double-decker. Our situation here is a combination aluminum upper body, steel on the bottom body, climate control and all. You can see what happens to steel. Aluminum holds up better even under these conditions, the upper portion. So this is Glasgow, Scotland. Constantine, would you like to start on the second row as we go around with the Budapest car? That's a subway car.
Okay, I'll try to make my contribution here. Please follow me. Welcome to the Budapest subway system. This car dates back to 1896. It was used until the early 1970s. It's a rather unique car. Just look at the body styling. The tunnels of the Budapest system were made for low clearances, very low clearances of 9 feet. So you wound up with this design of car.
Tunnels were built between the street and above the sewers.
Oh,
So you were in between. Look up. You can take a couple of quick features without getting into too much detail. Because there is a book about this available in the gift shop. Take a look at the inside. If you ever read in any of the larger cities, especially New York City, they talk about being squeezed in. Take a look at the inside of Budapest.
this is wider.
Yeah, take a look at the inside though. You'll see what I mean. The way it's built. And the thing was that this is, as odd as it is, this was an escapee from behind the Iron Curtain before it fell. It was an exchange for a 35mm camera.
Really?
Really, yeah. One of the oddball things about it.
So most everyone just stood.
Good, right.
Just hung on.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, three straps across the stand, plus the people. Ooh. 35,000 pounds.
Who exchanged a camera for it?
I forget, I don't know, it's all in there was a whole story, they wanted the camera and they had access to the car and, I never, like I said, there is a book about it. It's not a big hardcover, it's a nice little soft cover, inexpensive book, it tells you the whole story about it.
Follow me, please. Next car over is car B2. It's from the Toronto Transit Commission. It is our snow sweeper during the winter months when we had large heaps of snow on the ground. Cars like B2 would come out to clear the snow off the track to keep the railroad running. So you can just take a look here. It's really, B2 was like one large broom. It's a rotating broom. Got the bristles here. Bristles rotate, sweep the snow to the side of the track. Also, in many places, besides having this, there was also the rotary plow, large rotating blade, which blew the snow off the track. One of my favorites. Car 2890. Another example of a car from TTC, from the Toronto Transit Commission. Dates back to 1923. Can they step aboard, John, or no?
No, not really. I don't know what kind of condition that's in. I don't really recommend it.
I'll just explain it from the outside then.
Yeah.
2890 is another unique car. It's called the Peter Witt. It's one of our single-ended cars. Again, as was the case with 1267, it has operator's controls only on one end of the car. So the loops come to very good use because you're constantly turning the cars around. You don't have to back the cars up.
When did that change? When did they have it, the power at both ends? The steering?
Well, it actually varied from company to company. Double-ended cars appeared as early as the 1890s.
Oh, really?
There really is no specific time frame. It's just some companies opted.
But attention. This is the car that keeps me associated with this museum.
His pride and joy.
4547 is a convertible car from Brooklyn, New York, built in 1906. As you can see, it's set up in the summer configuration. What they did in Brooklyn is they took, except for each end panel, they took out the glass panel, depending on what decade. Each decade they took less windows out. And put the iron railings for some, there is heaters underneath to the seats, things like that. This car ran, basically, this configuration, 1906 till 1935. Well, 1935, because of the open gate type, was a two-person car, you needed a motorman and a conductor. A lot of the cars were converted with pneumatic doors. They did some reconfiguring of the end. This one in particular did not get the conversion. This went into work service. This particular car served the 9th Avenue Carhouse of Brooklyn, New York as a salt car. You imagine this with bags of salt, rock salt piled on. Well, it served that way. Also, the controls were removed at one end, say in the late 1940s. When it was 9th Avenue specifically, all the lines that were still remaining were single-ended cars, and removed the controls at one end. Car came here in 1957, sat for 20 Maine winters outdoors. Went into the shop later part 1970. 10 years later, the dedication of one gentleman who was a master restorer here at the museum. This is the finished, rebuilt product. So the thing is, a lot of people, you look at some of the stuff is raw, but a lot of even, God rest his soul, a lot of the senior members which were here, which I've been coming up since '86, this is where I came up one year, found this car, it was being worked on, okay, it hooked me. And what it was is they said, maybe there is hope with some of those basket cases, chicken coops are out in the back. It's like I said, it's, you can see, it's been really a lot of rebuilding. It has some mechanical problems. We have certain friends of it, we're trying to put some funds together, hopefully get it operational again. But this is 45, 47, like easy way to put it. The gentleman who, besides his labor, he had almost $50,000 in parts in it. I have a strong financial association with this car also. It's one of, like I said, this is one of my favorites, but this is a completed product. As we continue, Constantine.
Okay, well, John and I are associated with another museum in Connecticut where you see lots of yellow trolleys. The cars you see in front of you, 1160 and 303, each ran in the Connecticut company system. 1160 on the side of you here is, it dates back to approximately 1907, about the same time as 4547. It's an example of a suburban car. Suburban cars have, like you could say, like cross seating. Also, with suburban cars, they have the whistles. How to distinguish that from a city car? A city car just has the longitudinal seating, subway type seating that goes straight across the car and they don't have the whistles. Besides 1160, also car 303 is an example of an open-sided summer car.